Hello and welcome to the On Your Head Son podcast. It's the end of the season, end of the Premier League season. What do you think of that, Matt?
Whoa, what a season it's been. It's been very exciting. There's been a title race for the ages. There's been a battle for relegation. It's been been good, isn't it? I think, or am I thinking of the wrong season?
You're thinking of the wrong season indeed. We would ask Andy to clarify, but sadly he's off. He recently got engaged. Congratulations, Andy.
Congratulations, Andy. Very happy for you. Got a new sister.
Very, very happy. Sorry?
We're getting a new sister, James.
Getting a new sister. She'll be on the podcast soon. Don't you worry about that. But yeah, as Matt alluded to, probably not the best Premier League season ever. The real thing that was hotting up towards the end was the race for the Champions League places, with 5 teams going into the last game with a chance of getting the last 3 spots, and that just didn't really materialise anything, did it? Like, everyone seemed to just not turn up the last day.
Everyone just limped over the line completely. I mean, the big one was Villa. That decision. I mean, that kind of did cost them both Emi Martinez's and the referee as well. But I mean, Newcastle lost. Yeah, Villa lost. As I said, Forest lost. I know they played against Chelsea, but that Chelsea-Forest game sounded pretty dreadful as well. So yeah, it was a bit anticlimactic. But I mean, to be honest, that top 5 race was the only thing that kept the Premier League interesting for the last 4 or 5 weeks, I want to say, at least.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, no, definitely. I mean, yeah, Man City, just sort of patrolled past Fulham. As you mentioned, it was the big game, really, was Chelsea versus Forest. And I mean, it was never going to be an exciting game. Like, neither of those teams play exciting football particularly. And it was just a 1-0 win to Chelsea. Everyone obviously wanted Forest to win. Newcastle losing at home to Everton, leaving the door open for Aston Villa, who lost to Man United, who have been absolutely dreadful. And yeah, that contentious decision to not allow the Morgan Rogers goal, I think, yeah.
80 million.
I mean, how did you see that? Did India have control of the ball?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There's no way. I think I saw. I can't remember who described it as, but if that's in a rugby game, that's getting disallowed because there's no control of that ball whatsoever, and that's, to be honest, a decent way to describe it. So yeah, no, it was a dreadful decision, but human error, which is okay, as opposed to it going to VAR for hours. So I don't necessarily mind it too much.
You don't mind it too much. I think you might have a few angry Villa fans saying they do mind it too much.
Villa know I love them. Villa know I love them. It's Howard Webb's fault. That's who it is. They shouldn't have put an inexperienced referee on such a big game. That's who I blame.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, I don't think we'll rest too much on the Premier League itself. I think what we will highlight is that it actually has been a year for the Cups, and a year for the ending of long droughts. So we've had Crystal Palace winning the FA Cup. We've had Newcastle winning the EFL Cup. And of course, we've had Tottenham winning the Europa League so far. Chelsea are playing against Real Betis as we speak, so we're not going to comment on that. And of course, we have the Champions League final to look forward to. Out of the cups, or the cup finals, which was the most iconic for you?
I think Newcastle, and I don't know why. And it's I think more of a celebration just seemed more hypnotic, let's say, than the Crystal Palace one. The Crystal Palace one, I don't know, it's not hypnotic is the wrong word, but more just celebratory as opposed to a little bit more.
I was going to say that hypnotic means putting you to sleep. So I think
if anything, Palace one kind of seemed a little bit more bitter. It was more angry, whereas the Newcastle one just seemed like just sheer joy, and it was just brilliant day for all Newcastle fans. That one looked like. So yeah, I'm going to edge Newcastle, but also I don't want to diss any Palace fans because that did look like brilliant fun. It just, the reaction of Henderson, just I didn't really like too much. That's what I'm saying.
Fair enough. Yeah. And then of course, we had the Europa League final, which I think really is famous for being 2 of the worst teams to ever make it to the Europa League final, and really famous for Ange's quote back in September, which we're going to get onto a little bit later. Actually, we've got some awards coming up, so. Anything more to say on the season as a whole, or should we crack on with some awards?
I feel like also more cup competitions. Aberdeen winning in Scotland, beating Celtic, doing that. Bologna beating Milan. Yeah, good year for cups. So let's keep it going. So hopefully PSG win on to bring that oil money and really like kind of have a new winner for each cup. That's what we want.
Bring that oil money and get a new winner for each cup.
Yeah, exactly. The two are synonymous.
The two are synonymous indeed. But I've teased it. Let's get into it. Without further ado, it's time for the end of season awards.
Da, 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 da.
Apparently, it's Strictly Come Dancing.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Apparently, Strictly Come Awards. So we're going to start off with we've got 8 awards in total here. Then we've got the the team of the season to go through, which we've done one each, and Andy has also sent one in, which we'll share with you as well. We're going to start with a question which I think is probably quite easy, unless you're fancy being a contrarian here, Matt. But we're going to start with number 1, and that's Player of the Season. Who have you gone for Player of the Season?
There's only one person. He's equal the record. It's Mo Salah.
When you say equal the record, can you just explain that, please?
Equal the record for goals and assists. I believe it's with Andy Cole and Shearer, is it? For like
Correct,
39 goal involvements. Yeah, I think he's been the standout player all season, really. You can't really look past him.
Yeah. Well, I can say that Andy agreed, and yeah, I 100% agree. I don't think you can look past it. He's been absolutely phenomenal, and particularly in the mid part of the season, he was like instrumental in extending that lead for Liverpool like so much. And there were a lot of games there where they weren't playing outstanding and they weren't creating tons of chances, but his movement, his finishing, all of his assists as well. He really propelled them towards this title, even if he did fall away a little bit towards the end. But overall, yeah, no questions.
A little bit interesting. Who's your second, actually?
It's a really, really tough question, that.
Yeah.
I actually was thinking about it earlier. I would probably go for someone else in the Liverpool team, and I'd probably go Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah.
But I'd be thinking about Gravenberch as well.
Or McAllister. I think those 4 are probably my top 4. Or yeah, maybe if you throw someone else, you might throw one Arsenal player in there. But yeah, but I think the rest, yeah, no, that was just a question. But anyway, Mo Salah wins the award.
Mo Salah, congratulations, Mo Salah. Moving on from Player of the Season to Young Player of the Season. So Andy has gone in and he's proposed Dean Howson of Bournemouth, of course, Real Madrid bound. I have a different name on my list here. Do you, Matt? Who have you gone for?
I went for a different name. I went for a Arsenal player, and it is Miles Lewis-Skelly. And James, I know you're his biggest fan, but yeah, I think the way he settled in, yeah, I've gone Miles Lewis-Skelly. Yourselves?
Do you know what? I'm really, really glad you said that, because I think those two and my one are the 3 best young players of the year. Almost unarguably. Miles Skelly's been amazing. He's playing way above his years, completely solid, looked absolutely great against PSG and Real Madrid. He's a real talent.
Yeah.
But my personal choice went for Morgan Rogers of Aston Villa. I think that he has cemented himself in that Aston Villa side for such a young guy. He's come up from the Championship middle of last season, and he seems to be almost an ever-present in the Aston Villa side. Creative, great movement, could finish. Yeah, unlucky with that disallowed goal last game of the season that would have put them back in the Champions League. I think he's got it all.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I think he's obviously been one of the standout players for Villa. I don't know how old he is, which always kind of puts me off. Like, you know, how it's always like under 23, under 24, whatever it is. But yeah, I mean, he's been, how old is he? He's 22. So actually, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I think if you're under 23, that kind of counts you as young. But yeah, I can see why he's really cemented himself in that team this year after being a bit of a fringe player last year. So yeah, no, I agree, but I would still go for Miles Lewis-Skelly above that because he's 18. and he's fit into that team like no
Fair
one else.
enough. So I think what we're going to do here is we've got three different choices here. I do agree actually on the point about being 22 years old. I think he's excellent, but I'm going to count Morgan Rogers out. So I'm going to pick here between Dean Howson and Miles Lewis-Skelly. And I think given the way that I think it's obvious who I'm going to pick. And he has been outstanding in a Bournemouth side. It's Dean Howson. Congratulations.
Play Dean Howson. Sorry, Miles. I tried to fight, but yeah, Dean. He's 50 million move as well to Real Madrid. He's got his dream move, so that's brilliant.
Yeah, well deserved, Dean. Okay, number 3 award for the biggest surprise of the season. Some interesting, because this could go in any direction. Matt, what was your biggest surprise of the season?
I've gone positive. I'm not going to be negative like a lot of other people. I'm going to go. I went for Nottingham Forest to be. I think everyone had them as a relegation tip team. If not, probably the worst of the rest. Worst of the would have finished maybe 17th. But I went for Nottingham Forest. I think they've been excellent. So yeah, they're my biggest surprise.
Can't disagree. They've well outperformed what everyone thought of them. Even though they did finish short of the Champions League places, still getting Conference League is outstanding. Outstanding achievement, definitely a surprise. Andy's choice was Spurs winning the Europa League. I mean, can't go past it. It's crazy. It's especially crazy because they finished 17th in the league.
That's the reason.
Had they finished 6th in the league and then won the Europa League, I don't think it would be a big surprise at all. Really, like a great achievement, but it wouldn't be a big surprise. It was the fact that they finished so badly in the league but still won the Europa League, kind of qualified for the Champions League. Yeah, it's more like mind blowing. So actually, I agree with you. My biggest surprise was Nottingham Forest. I don't think that it's kind of obvious and it's kind of a mainstream view there, but I don't think anyone saw that coming. No. Maybe not even Nuno himself.
No, I completely agree. I think also an honourable mention for me wasn't Man U, but actually Man City going through their awful run in November, whenever it was, and actually San Marino picking up more wins of them, I think, in November, and then they still only finished 3 points behind Arsenal. So I think that's an honourable mention for me as a biggest surprise. But I think you look at Forest and what they do, and every week as well. So Forest all day for me.
Well done. Congratulations, Forest, for being the biggest surprise of the season. Next up, we have the best moment. And again, this can be taken in any vein. You can think of anything you want. What was your best moment of the season?
Mine's got a lot of recency bias, and I've gone for Scotty McTominay celebrating in Naples. It's unbelievable. I think if you've seen him in clubs at the moment, if you've seen him smoking on top of the parade, the trophy parade, is basically Napoli's gone mental for him, and obviously scored the scorpion kick really to obviously seal the title.
Scorpion kick.
Overhead kick, kind of to seal the title, and it's been brilliant. So Scott McTominay tearing up Serie A, and then going on this absolute bender, and he's looking absolutely high as a kite every time you look at him, but in both ways, I think, as well.
Excellent. Well, congratulations to McTominay and Billy Gilmour and all the Napoli side. Some great celebrations out in Italy. My best moment isn't actually a moment; it's a whole arc, and it links back to what we were talking about earlier. It's the Ange Postecoglou arc. It's the balls of in September when they're doing awful, saying, "I always win a trophy in my second season, mate." Then absolutely flunking the league, and yet somehow winning a trophy. It's just the most perfect, poetic round circle that you get in Hollywood movies. It's perfect.
I think it's I think it's amazing. I mean, just going back and then also winning it, and then coming back the next day and going, season 3 is always better than season 2, mate. It's just like, this guy is absolutely amazing.
It's absolutely bonkers. I don't think it's the best moment on the pitch. I mean, the final was one of the worst games I've ever seen in my entire life against Man United. But just the story about it. It's just it's a journalist's dream.
Yeah, completely agree.
So yeah, that's another candidate there. And Andy's given two. One's not going to be one. He's put Tall Paul scoring the winner against Ipswich. Great moment. Got us one of our 2 wins of the season. And then he's also put a real candidate here, which is Dan Burns' header versus Liverpool in the Carabao Cup final, which was iconic and sparked celebrations across Newcastle. So definitely that's a good shout as well.
Yeah, I mean, my vote I think does go Spurs. I think not Spurs, just Big Ange, to be honest. Not
Big
Spurs.
Ange.
Big Ange, the main character, the main man.
The Big Ange circle, mate.
Exactly, mate. This is how we do it, mate.
That's how we do it.
We are, mate.
Congratulations, Big Ange, on being our best moment of the season. You will be receiving a trophy in the post soon. Not that you need it, you've got one already, mate.
He always wins in his second season, mate.
Always wins. Right, so a strange one here, and I'm not sure if you put this one in here. We've gone for shithouse of the year. I'd be interested to see what you put here.
I copied Andy.
It is a really good one.
Yeah,
and it's probably going to win.
I didn't really know why I put it originally as a question, and then Andy just took it and he ran with it. So yeah. Do you want to read it out?
Do you want to share what that was?
No, you can. You can do that. That can be you.
Well, no, because but I didn't pick this. I picked something else.
Oh, fine. Okay, fine. So yes, it was Jamie Vardy. Obviously, he's been brilliant being back in the Premier League. Hopefully he comes back maybe next year, but you never know. And it was when he stole the referee's whistle after the referee fell down and then just blew it and then just pretended to, I don't know, be the ref for a little bit. He's just a nut job, really. And it's been good having him back in the Prem. So yeah, Jamie Vardy all day. That's mine. And
nice.
Andy.
And Andy. So he's probably going to win, but I'm going to throw a contender in there. But I will just say before, I struggled with this.
Yeah.
So I did actually change the title of the award slightly to shit head of the year. And I have gone for my least favorite person in the world, who is Mikel Arteta. And I'm going to give you a top 3 shithead moments of his year. So in number 3 was when he played 5 midfielders and 5 defenders. So 4 midfielders and 5 defenders behind the ball when they went down to 10 men against Man City back in September. That was just awful spectacle, and hated that. Number 2 was in the most recent match that they were just gone at the end of the season. He was still saying what an amazing team it's been, and the best team didn't get into the final of the Champions League. He's still saying that. He's so deluded. That. But the ultimate shithead moment of the year, moaning about the Carabao Cup ball when they lost the first leg to Newcastle. You cannot write that.
I mean, it's nothing to do. I think you just wanted to rant about Arteta and on this maybe penultimate.
Can we make a separate award?
Yeah.
So can we give the shithouse to Jamie Vardy? Can we give the shithead to Mikel Arteta?
We'll put that out. We'll put that out if we can give a special award of the shithead of the year to Arteta. But at the moment, it's just shithouse goes to Vardy, unfortunately.
Yeah, shithouse goes to Vardy, but shithead is Mikel Arteta.
Okay, fair.
It is. Okay, swiftly moving on, and I've actually got some good candidates for this one. So I might just list them out, and then you can decide and say if you've got someone different. So you've got most underrated player.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got 3. Oh, you're going to have to excuse me one moment. Right, sorry. That's fine. Well. Hello. Hey, you right?
You're live on Channel 4. Please do not quit.
I'm at home and I'm just doing a podcast. So bye. Right. So where do we go? So
underrated. Start again.
All right, moving on to our most underrated player of the season. I've actually got 3 which I've written down as candidates, and I'm going to see if you maybe pick any of these 3. I know Andy's actually got another one as well.
Yeah.
But the 3 that I put down are Elliot Anderson of Nottingham Forest, Mark Flecken of Brentford, and then Jacob Murphy at Newcastle.
Yeah. So Jacob Murphy was mine.
Okay.
That he was definitely mine. I again think there's been loads of candidates as well for this. I thought it was actually quite an interesting one, but I think his numbers speak for themselves. Andy, by the way, went for Chris Wood, which I'm not sure about underrated. I think because I think he's actually been very hyped up this year, which rightly so. But I wouldn't necessarily say underrated because he has been the star man. I think another player for Forest, Elliot Anderson's a great shout. I think he's been the best, possibly the best signing, bar maybe Howson. Is Aina for Forest as well. I think he's been unbelievable. And
he got a lot of hype earlier in the season, but hasn't as much recently, which is probably why I wouldn't even thought about putting him in there.
Agreed. And I mean, from Palace's point of view, and for Munoz, excellent kind of this season, but again, no real massive plaudits, I'd say. But yeah, I think there's been loads. I think you go through every team, there's always an underrated player, an underappreciated player.
Yeah. Well, the reason I put in Mark Flecken, I mean, he's made so many more saves than any other goalkeeper across Europe. It's not even like in the just the Premier League. This season, which is a mad stat, really. I think he's a really good goalkeeper. But seeing as you put Jacob Murphy down, I put Jacob Murphy down. I think it's a really good shout for being the most underrated. I think we'll give it to Jacob.
Yeah, go on, Jacob. We love you, and we love your brother.
Congratulations. What?
We don't like his brother, though, do we?
Elliot Murphy.
Elliot Murphy, we hate. Pompey, absolute scum. So no, we can't do that.
Okay. Well, well done, Jacob. Don't buy your brother presents for Christmas.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Biggest letdown. So Andy went in on Haaland, saying that Erling Haaland was the biggest letdown, despite scoring 22 goals, and just didn't feel that he's adding much to the team, needs service. I've gone for something similar, but a different player. My biggest letdown is Phil Foden. I just think the drop off from what he did last season compared to this season is, we actually did a piece on it about a month or two ago now. That there's ever been a drop off as much from someone winning the Player of the Year last year to this year. Interesting to hear what you've got, Matt. Who have you gone for?
Exactly the same. Phil Foden. I think it's hard to look past him really after the heights of last year, and then hoping De Bruyne was injured really for quite a bit of the season. Obviously, I know it's been last season, and you kind of been hoping Foden's going to fill those boots for a very long time, and it's just like this was the season where he could have just completely established himself within as the key English player as well, as the key leader for England, and also but he's been absolutely dreadful, bar maybe one game or two games. I don't know how many goals he finished on, but it wasn't great at all. Whereas Haaland, I kind of understand, because actually they've hit forms while Haaland's been injured, and then he came back for the cup final, and it looked like they lost their fluidity when he was playing. But I think that's more because they need an extra man in midfield at the moment, because they are shocking and they are running out of legs. But we've gone through City too much. Let's not.
We have. Anyway, well done, Phil Foden. You are the biggest letdown of the year. You'll be receiving your poo in the post.
Yeah, eat shit.
Oh wow, that's a little bit too much. Anyway, so the favourite awards that we like to give out, of course, which is the one you've all been waiting for, is best hair. Most previously held by Fabian Schär of Newcastle. I don't think he's going to win again this year. His haircut hasn't quite been as good as before. Unless you want to give him a candidate, are you going to throw it out?
Yeah. I mean, there's only one winner. It's Fabian Schär. I mean, you can't look past it. I mean, the guy's he's going silver, but he's going great gracefully, and we love it. So that's mine all day. I don't think you can look past it.
You've gone for Fabian Schär, okay. Well, Andy's gone for Declan Rice, brackets, firm and solid like the man himself. I just hate that. Yeah. We're not having that at all. My candidate, he's got a fantastic head of hair. Really, really good. He wears it differently from time. Sometimes it's longer, sometimes cuts it nice and short, but he always looks good. Joachim Andersen at Fulham.
Yeah, I don't mind.
He's got a very good head of hair.
I do quite like. Yeah, I do quite like his haircut actually. Yeah, it's quite Italian kind of like 80s kind of like look with the bandana
Yeah,
kind of. I like it actually. Yeah,
yeah.
I could be up for potentially moving that from Fabian Schär, but I do still think Fabian Schär. But yeah,
I'll tell you what. Let's not award this one. Let's put it out to the listeners. Who has the better haircut, Joachim Andersen or Fabian Schär?
yeah, fine. Let the listeners decide.
Let
There
the
we go.
listeners, let the viewers decide. So that one's on hold. So I know you're both of you, Fabian and Joachim, you're both sat there like
Please be
need to
me.
know right now, but
No.
you're gonna have to hold on.
Yeah.
We'll let you know later this week. Right, and then that concludes the awards that we set up. I do actually have one more, which I think is an obvious one that somehow we missed, and I'm going to ask you for your answer here, and I'm going to give you 3 candidates. So we haven't actually added manager of the season in here, which I think is a really, really big shout. I've created the shortlist. There are plenty of good performers, plenty of terrible performers, often at this ground where I'm stood right now. But the 3 candidates for best manager of the season are Nuno Espirito Santo, Nottingham Forest, Arne Slot at Liverpool, or Eddie Howe at Newcastle.
You've just gone for those 3.
Just those 3.
No Ange.
No Ange Postecoglou in this one.
Okay. Ooh.
So while you're thinking, I guess just like summing it up. So Nottingham Forest and like under Espirito Santo, so massively overperformed expectations, gone from 17th, finished in like 7th overall, got them into Europe, which is just like unbelievable, really. You've got Arne Slot, who's come in after a iconic like manager that you can't replace in inverted commas, in Jurgen Klopp. Come in, he's made some tweaks and he's made Liverpool even better in his first year, and they've absolutely ran away with the league. And then you've got Eddie Howe, who I think is still somehow underrated as a manager, in the sense that he like obviously got Newcastle with a quick like run up to the Champions League a couple of seasons ago. Fell off last year because they were playing twice a week, which makes complete sense. But he's then done it again. He's got them straight back into the Champions League, and he's won them their first cup in about 70, 80 years or whatever it was. So 3 very good candidates there.
I'm gonna go for Slot. I still think that taking over the dynasty of Klopp, and obviously being massive uncertainty around the 3, not 3 of the main, well, 2 of definitely the 3 main players, and if not, Trent's still one of them definitely. 3 of the 4, let's say, and I just think Slot, he settled the ship so well and done it in a completely opposite way to how Klopp did it, and I think he's a really likable. He comes across brilliant. I think the way he presents himself, I absolutely love it. So, and he's completely ran away with it. I know there's not been a massive challenge, and it's one of the lowest points tallies, but I think they could have got an extra 8-10 points if they wanted to be honest. I think there were a few games where they definitely went off the gas when Arsenal weren't chasing, or City weren't chasing. So, I'm going to go on his Slot.
Right, I think there were arguments for all 3, but great shout. So congratulations, Arne. Another trophy to add to this year's haul.
Legend, absolute legend. I love him.
Absolute legend. Right. Well, with that, we're moving on from the awards, or the individual awards at least, and going on to the teams of the season. I think for now, you've probably heard enough of our voices. So we're going to pass you over to Andy. But before we pass you over, we just need to explain clearly that we are picking our team of the season, but you can only have 1 player from each team. So you cannot have 2 players from Liverpool, 2 players from Man City, anyone like that. It's 1 player from each season. So without further ado, let's pass you over to Andy, and he will give you his Premier League team of the season.
Hello, On Your Head Son podcast. It's me, Andy Barnett, your old pal. Sorry I can't be there today. I'm doing a bit of acting. Fun. Anyway, this is my team of the year. Remember, we're only picking 1 player from each team. So don't rinse me too much in the comments. Right, starting in goal, Jordan Pickford. Left back, Anthony Robertson. Centre back, Milenkovic. Other centre back, Hudjunson. Right back, Munoz. CDM, Rice. Had to switch that round. Minter in centre mid. Other centre mid, Bruno Fernandes. Left wing, Cunha. Striker, Isak. And right wing, Salah. Let me know what you think. And most of all, let me know where I went wrong, as I'm sure you'll let me know, brothers. Catch you in a second.
Thank you very much, Andy. Some fantastic players in there. So for the viewers, listeners, I actually received that team earlier, and I saw that, and I was going to put an almost identical team out. So what I've tried to do is I've tried to make a new team, not including any of those players that Andy's put in there. So these are the alternative, so Premier League 11, based on not those core players, and then we'll let Matt do his team at the end, and we'll see who from each team he's picked out. But I'm going to go through mine one at a time. So number one, I've gone for Matt Sells of Nottingham Forest in goal. Left back, I've gone Kirkes of Bournemouth. I've got centre-back pairing of Van Dijk and Gabriel. Right back, I've gone Tino Livramento, who's been absolutely outstanding this year. I then got a midfield three of Caicedo, Belieber, and Morgan Rogers. And then both wings, I've gone Eberechi Eze and Jarrod Bowen, who has actually quietly had a very, very good season for West Ham, despite how poor they've been. And up front, it was a toss of a coin between the two Brentford boys, Johan Wissa and Brian Mbumo. Brian Mbumo wins it because he got 20 goals the last game of the season, whereas Johan Wissa finished on 19. So Brian Mbumo finishes off my team.
That's a very nice team, I have to say. I like that team, to be honest. Mine is a little bit of a both. I think there's not actually any players really that I've come up with some new. So I've got exactly the same back five as Andy. So Pickford in goal, Munoz right back, Howson and Milenkovic as centre backs, and Robinson as left back. My two CDMs are Declan Rice and with you, Moises Caicedo, and my cam in front of him is Morgan Rogers. I think again you can't look past him. My right winger is obviously your Mohamed Salah, and my centre forward is Isak. And then on the left, I've tweaked it a little bit, but I've then gone with your striker, Brian Mbumo. But I could have gone with Wissa. But Mbumo kind of plays on the left a little bit more sometimes because they both play.
Wissa's a bit more central.
In general. But then they're front three, so it's fine. So again, it's a little bit of a round or two. I think honourable mentions go to, I think David Raya really could have gone in, and I really tried to put Gabriel in my team as well. But I think Declan Rice really had to play.
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree. Sorry, I don't disagree. I definitely agree with that. I think, I just realised that as I was doing my team, it was going to be exactly the same as Andy's. I realised that yours was going to be similar again. So I just tried to do something a little bit different, try and get a different side. I'm not sure on Andy's pick on Cunha. I think he's had a good season, but I don't think he's quite been at that level.
No, I completely agree. And also, I think I said to you the other day, him rumoured for 50 million to Man U is one of the funniest signings, just because his attitude is dreadful, and the Wolves fans really don't like him because he hardly shows up he shows up almost like 2 in 5 games, let's say, so 1 in 2, and he's pretty poor the rest of the time and just is a bit of a liability. So that'll be fun to see him at Man U next year.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, I mean, I know last time we did this, we did a bit of a combined 11, but I mean, I'd be happy like looking into the one that you've picked out, which is kind of a combination between the two. I think probably is not far off the best you can get from picking 11 people from different players. So if we do post it, that's going to be the one we're posting, the one that you've said out loud. Do you want to repeat that team for everyone right now?
Let's go. Right. Jordan Pickford in goal. Left back, Anthony Robinson. Centre backs, Milenkovic and Howson. And then right back is Munoz. And then your CDMs today are Caicedo and Declan Rice. Playing in front of them as a number 10 is Morgan Rogers. And your wingers for today are Mohamed Salah and Brian Mbumo. And then up front, you have Alexander Isak.
Alexander Isak, who has been exceptional, and I found it so hard not to put him into my team. I also, with Newcastle, I found it so hard not to put another midfielder in there.
I know. I wanted
Bruno and Tonali have been excellent.
Well, if you were to take one, let's say, I don't know, let's say Saints were a big team. If you were to pick one of those players, Which one would you pick?
For the team that you've put together.
No. From those two, from Bruno Guimaraes and Sandro Tonali.
Bruno.
Would you? I think I'd go
Yeah.
Sandro.
Yeah, Bruno. Yeah, I think without Bruno, I think they'd lose a bit. I think he was the one that changed how Newcastle played when he joined.
Well, no, but I'm saying to bring him into your club right now. I think Bruno's brilliant for Newcastle. Like, don't get me wrong, I think he's unbelievable, but I think Tonali's technically a little bit of a better player. And I think actually where it changes when we swapped him earlier in the season, where Tonali drops deeper and then Bruno became a nutter who just chases everyone down, which suits him.
Yeah, but I like that.
No, I agree. It's passion. It's like kind of like you can see where he's kind of lacking in a few areas because his discipline. I don't know how many yellows he gets. I don't know how many. I swear he gets quite a few. But I think their midfield three is brilliant. I think, as we've said before in this pod, I love them.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, that wraps up the team of the season. A couple more things to go. So we've got, first of all, a quick trivia question for you. Only one player one outfield player this season has played every minute in the Premier League. Do you know who that is? Can you even give it a guess?
It was Van Dijk until he was on the bench against Brighton. It's not the player of the season, is it?
No. Okay, he's not far off though. He's played almost every minute. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It is a tough one.
Gravenberch?
Not Gravenberch. No, so I say he plays for Brentford.
Oh, Brentford. Oh, is it Damsgaard?
Not Damsgaard.
Oh, don't know.
I know. Well, the answer is Nathan Collins. Played every minute, and actually, Brian Mbeumo has played all but 5 minutes of the season, which is a crazy stat as well.
Brilliant.
Considering he's because normally forwards and wingers get chopped and changed quite a lot. Yeah, Brian Mbeumo is almost ever present.
No, I love that. Another very quick trivia question, not necessarily to the Premier League, but more to the Champions League. Inter Milan, and maybe not a trivia question, more trivia fact. Inter Milan have been behind the whole tournament in games, been behind for 16 minutes throughout the whole of this tournament. How ridiculous is that? And yet they've played against Arsenal, City, Barca twice, Bayern twice. Don't know who else, but 100. That's an absolutely ridiculous stat.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Given again the extra game, so yeah. But what can you do?
That's a great. Not sure why you're upset with that, but yeah, what can you do? You can't do anything. It's already happened.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'll tell you what, Paris Saint-Germain could do something about it.
Well, could they?
They can, and let's jump in with that. So we've got the big Champions League final on Saturday coming up. How do you see that playing out, and what is your prediction for the score?
So my prediction is that PSG will win, and more out of who I like to watch play football than actually. I think if you look at it tactically, I think tactically Inter would have the edge, but I just think the moments of magic from however you say the Georgian guy name, Kvaratskhelia, something like that. Don't know. And Dembele. I just think Dembele might set this world up on fire, this Champions League final on fire, and I can't wait for that. But I'm going to go PSG 2-1, but I do think if Inter go 1-0 up, I don't think PSG have really got much of a chance.
I think that Inter are going to, I think it's Inter's year, this one. I think they will be able to deal with deal with PSG's attacking play the same way they did with Barcelona. I mean, they still led in a lot of goals against Barcelona, but their ability to break at pace and pick their moments, and their wing backs are absolutely flying. DeMarco and Dumfries. I see some goals on the break here. I think it will be a 3-1 Inter Milan win.
I think that's not really a bad shout, but I think I think It could go. It's really, this really is one of the 50-50 finals that you actually go to. I think it's, and actually a high quality one as well, and one of massive contrasting styles, which makes it more interesting, I think, than most finals that you see. So yeah, looking forward to it a lot.
I mean, if it's anything like the
Barca.
Inter Milan games, my words, they were that was pure.
I mean,
not pure football. It was just pure enjoyment. Like
yeah.
it was, anyone in the world could have watched those games and enjoyed it, even if they hated football.
Completely agree. I mean, going back to the awards, that was my best moment of the season before I saw Scotty McTominay just chilling on top of the trophy parade. So yeah, but no, come on PSG.
Come on PSG. Well, I'm going. Come on, Inter Milan. Looking forward to it. It'll be a great game either way. Right, well, we're getting close now to the very end, and before we jump off, because I know you've got a game to see off the season, Matt. Before we do that, I think Andy's got a question for us.
Right, as the Premier League season is finally over, I thought I'd throw out a little question. As it was so quite uneventful towards the end of this season, who's winning the Premier League season next year? Early predictions in, before the transfer window, before any of that happens. What do you guys reckon? For me, could it be Arsenal's year? No, of course not. I reckon it'll be Liverpool. They'll build on strength and they'll go again. But let me know what you think, brothers.
Oh, thank you very much, Andy. Look at that. Already predicting the Premier League, and it hasn't even... Well, no, it has finished now. I'll do it again.
No, carry on. I think that was good. You did a really, really good transition there, Matt. So the Premier League has finished. This is why we're doing the end of season awards. But what Andy's question was, who do you think is going to win next year?
We're doing next year. Well, Liverpool.
Liverpool.
You're
going to expand?
No. Liverpool, they're the best team, aren't they? They won.
They won this year. They won at a canter as well. Yeah. Okay, so flying over to me. Yeah, recency bias is really tough in it because all you want to say is Liverpool because they were so far ahead this year. But thing is, I don't think Arsenal will do it. I think they'll stay in second or third. I don't want to say Man City, even though they could. So it's got to be someone a little bit left field. I tried this last year and it ended up embarrassingly. I think I said Tottenham last year. So let's go with. No, let's go with Chelsea. Chelsea will and not will. They could win the league next year. Let's go with that.
Fair enough.
If they sign a good striker, why not?
Fair enough. So I've gone Liverpool and you've gone Chelsea, and then Andy I think went Tottenham because season 3 is always better than season 2, mate. So it's all right. So there we go.
No, they'll win the Champions League, but get relegated.
Yeah,
that would be iconic, wouldn't it?
That would be even better.
Finishing on 10 points, breaking the record for the lowest ever Premier League season, and then winning the Champions League. That would be.
I saw a thing the other day where it was about Tottenham, and Tottenham should have 2 managers next season. So you have Big Ange for Europe, and then you bring in someone else to just look after the Premier League. So it's not quite as embarrassing as the next season, but they still have these big European nights for Big Ange marriage. So yeah.
So what do we think? Sean Dyche in the league and Ange on the big nights in the Champions League?
I think that'll work, don't you? I mean,
I think it worked pretty well, actually. And they could almost have 2 teams.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you've got Van der Ven and Canate. No, not Canate. Van der Ven and Romero on whatever it is. And then you've got Danzo and Archie Gray on a Premier League weekend. It's brilliant.
There we go. Well, that's our idea for Tottenham Hotspur. Levy, if you are listening,
we are available.
Sean Dyche, play him at the weekend, or make him manage the team on the weekends. Ange Postecoglou is going to win you the bloody Champions League, mate. But right, that's enough serious conversation, unless this game is really serious, which I hope it's not. I hope it's a little bit of fun. Matt, why don't you give us our last game of the season?
No. So next week, are we doing a quiz? I believe that's what we're doing. Sorry. Well, it's last game of the season. Well, the season's wrapped up now, so we'll be doing just a general quiz. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm the host. We'll hopefully get a few special guests on it, and I believe Big Ange might make an appearance, so that'll be good. And maybe Sean Dyche will be there, so we can reunite them there. But anyway, the last game of the season, and it's a really interesting one. It wasn't just come up with the last 10 minutes. So we look at this, and it's James. We're going to call it higher or lower. Look at that. Oh,
what are the rules of higher or lower?
well, you've just got to go for a high number. Whichever one you think it is, to be honest. So,
Right.
first, originally I'm going to do so. It's Premier League goals this season.
Okay.
Okay. So, first question: Jan Bednarek or Mo Salah?
What? Who got the higher
Yeah.
goals?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I thought it was going to be a fun game. Mo Salah.
Yes, James. That's one. Congratulations. Okay, and then next we have Wissa or Watkins.
Johan Wissa.
Yes, correct. Very good. And then now we have Son or Kudos.
I think Son.
Son did. Okay, very good, James. And then now we have Kudos or Foden.
I still think Foden.
And he's done it again. Foden's done it.
He's got like 9 or 10, didn't he? I think.
I'm not going to tell you. Yet.
Okay.
You might come on next. So next we have Foden or Maddison.
Foden.
Oh, he's got it wrong.
Ah!
Can't believe it. So that's 4 out of 5 for goals. That's very good. So, Foden finished on 7. Maddison finished on 9. I don't remember any of those goals, I have to say. Right, now we're going for assists.
Okay.
So, first one is Cole Palmer or Amad Diallo.
Oh, that's a question, isn't it? I'll go Cole Palmer.
Yes, it is. That's correct. And Amad Diallo or De Bruyne.
De Bruyne.
De Bruyne is correct. Okay, now De Bruyne or Kirkes.
Oh, Kirkes.
It's incorrect. Kirkes or Porro.
Kirkes.
It's incorrect. Porro or Adama Traore.
Oh, Adama Traore.
Yes, Adama Traore. Pace man.
Jimenez. Come on.
And that is 3 out of 5. That's on assists. So that's very good. And the next one, it's a Bruno Fernandes special.
Okay, excellent.
So it's very good as you want. So it's passes by a player. So who has had more passes? Bruno Fernandes or Max Kilman?
Be Max Kilman.
Incorrect. Bruno Fernandes or Canate?
I think Canate.
Oh, that's incorrect, James. That's incorrect. Bruno Fernandes or Lewis Dunk?
Lewis Dunk.
That's incorrect, James.
No.
Bruno Fernandes or Dan Burn?
Bruno Fernandes.
Oh, it's Bruno Fernandes. He's got it. And lastly, Bruno Fernandes or Van Dijk?
Van Dijk.
Ah, damn it. He's got it. He's got 2 out of 5. So very well done, James. That's the game of higher or lower. But we all know that Bruno Fernandes is the best player of the Premier League this season. So
he was, and actually, let's just finish off with that one. So Andy put him in his team of the year. I know, and a lot of people across lots of different media outlets have been putting him in their team of the year somehow, and even ones that aren't. You have to pick one player from each team, which I think is mad. Don't get me wrong, he has played really well in a terrible Man United side, but how is he anywhere near a team of the season?
How many? He's got 8 goals and 11 assists this season. So probably because if the percentage of goals that he's involved in is probably almost I don't know.
So I'm pretty sure Jared Bowen has got 13 goals and 8 assists or something.
Potentially, but I don't really have an answer for you. I didn't put him anywhere near my team. I think he's a very funny player, and I think you watched that European final, the Europa League final the other day. All the Man U fans were actually having a go at him. They were booing him, I think, because he was absolutely dreadful in it. They thought it was his moment, but it really wasn't. And he's obviously linked with a move away this summer. Hopefully he doesn't go, because it's hilarious watching him just keep on trying this absolute Hollywood ball every single time. So long may Bruno Fernandes stay in Man U. That's what I want. Yeah.
Well, I think that wraps it up quite nicely, doesn't it? great season all round. Can't wait for the Champions League final. And apparently we're doing a quiz next week, which I'm really excited for. So as ever, thank you very much, Matt. Thank you, Andy, for your participation elsewhere. Congratulations again on the engagement. And without further ado, it's time for us to say that it's on your head, son.
Not off your head.
Son! Yeah.